Hi, I don't know what I'm doing still, but I wanted to talk about all of the books that I got during the month of December. The first stack I'm going to talk about were Christmas gifts from family members. The second stack are books I bought with a gift card from a Christmas gift. And then the last stack is going to be books that I purchased for myself. The first book is All's Well by Mona Awad. I am really excited to read this one. Bunny was my favorite book of 2019, and I'm really looking forward to reading more from this author. The next book is This Thing Between Us by Gus Marino. This is another one that I'm looking forward to and anticipating reading quite a bit. This was on the Goodreads Best of Horror for 2021. I've heard nothing but really incredible things about this, so I'm very much excited to read it and see where this goes. The next book is Near the Bone by Christina Henry. I have a mixed relationship with Christina Henry novels. I've read two of her previous works, I believe Girl in Red and Lost Boys. Both of them were rather disappointing. I have heard really good things about this one, so I'm excited to see if Christina Henry finally clicks for me. The next one is On Girlhood, 15 Stories from the Well-Read Black Girl Library, and I believe this is curated by Gloria Edom. This is one that my husband got for me for Christmas in a curated box from an independent bookstore. I'm really excited for this one. The next one is The Removed by Brandon Hobson. This was another one that was in that curated box from my husband. I don't really know too much about this one, except that I think the cover is absolutely beautiful, and I'm pretty sure this is an Indigenous author writing about Indigenous folklore, and I look forward to reading it. The next book is The Memory Police by Yoko Ogawa. I have no idea what this one is about, but I love this cover. I'm pretty sure it's either dystopian or possibly like literary fiction / horror. I don't really know. I'm excited to read this one. Next two books are A Gathering of Shadows by V.E. Schwab and A Conjuring of Light by V.E. Schwab. I read A Darker Shade of Magic last year and really enjoyed it, and I pushed my father-in-law and mother-in-law to read it as well, and they both really enjoyed it, so they got me the sequels for Christmas this year. The next book is Fearing the Black Body, The Racial Origins of Fat Phobia by Sabrina Strings. I can't recall where I heard about this one. It was either on TikTok or a TikTok my husband sent me, or maybe somewhere on BookTube or somewhere my husband saw. I don't know. This is a nonfiction, and I'm very much looking forward to reading this one as well. One of the things I was missing out on a lot last year was nonfiction, so I'm excited to have more nonfiction on my shelves to pull from this year to help increase and diversify my reading. The next book is The Blind Owl by Sadegh Hedayat. I really hope I'm pronouncing that correctly, but I'm not positive. I threw this one on my Christmas list purely because the Discord for the Horlit subreddit was doing a reading of this in December, and it sounded so interesting. And do I remember anything about it? Absolutely not. But I love this cover. The next book is Brute by Emily Skaja. This is a book of poems. This is another one that I just threw onto my Goodreads and onto my Christmas list because I think the cover is absolutely beautiful. One of the things I'm hoping to do as well as read more nonfiction in this next year is to read more poetry. I used to really enjoy poetry, and I moved away from it for a long time, and I look forward to getting back to it this year. The next book is A Generation of Sociopaths, How the Baby Boomers Betrayed America by Bruce Cannon Gibney. Again, more nonfiction. This was one that my husband found and recommended, and possibly we'll read it for the book club with his parents this year. I don't know when I'll get to it, but it should be a fun read when I do. The last book in my Christmas gift pile is A Zoologist's Guide to the Galaxy, What Animals on Earth Reveal About Aliens and Ourselves by Eric Kirschenbaum. This cover is so beautiful. The colors, the starry animals. I really adore it, and I am looking forward to getting to this one this year. This one I saw at our local bookstore when I was doing a quick peruse through there one day, and the beauty of the cover absolutely drew me in. It sounds absolutely fascinating as well. My next stack of books is books I bought from my local bookstore with a gift card. Thank you so much to my beautiful in-laws for getting that for me for Christmas. The first one I have is Paper Menagerie and Other Stories by Ken Liu. I have really been looking forward to getting my hands on this. I've heard nothing but incredible things about Ken Liu as an author. I really love short story collections and anthologies, and I don't have enough of them on my shelves, so I'm happy to add this one to my shelf and hopefully to my completed shelf soon. The next book is Cujo by Stephen King. I love Stephen King. He's one of my favorite authors, even though he's absolutely hit and miss on his books. And somehow I didn't have Cujo already, so I picked this one up used, and it's a really old copy. I'm not sure if you can see on the camera how yellow the pages are, and it just smells like an old book and like it just came from someone's personal library that they loved. And I'm happy to add this to my massive Stephen King collection. The next book I have is Viva Negativa by Daniel Hornsby. This one I picked up completely on a whim. I saw it on the shelves, and the ombre on the spine here kind of drew me in initially, and I really enjoyed the cover. And I don't really know anything about it except there's a priest who somehow picks up an injured coyote on a road trip, and it ends in gun violence or just bloodshed. I'm not really sure. This one should be a fun read. And the last book I have for my gift card purchase is My Heart is a Chainsaw by Stephen Graham Jones. I love Stephen Graham Jones. I love his shorter work, and I very much enjoyed The Only Good Indians last year. And I know that this is a slasher novel. I believe we're following a girl named Jade in a smallish town, and she frames everything through the lens of a slasher film. That's very much where she likes to live. It's the media she consumes the most, and she frames everything through that. And is there a slasher happening in her small town? Is she just kind of struggling with reality? I don't know, and I can't wait to find out. This next stack is books that I purchased for myself in December. My husband and I, at the end of the year, like to kind of look back on our Christmas list and see like what we were most excited to possibly receive, and if there was anything that we missed out on receiving, we purchased it for ourselves for a small little Christmas gift at the end of the year. And this is my pile of books, primarily used. I didn't break the bank on any of this. I also had 3 Thrift Books free book credits, so that's exciting. First one is The Shining Girls by Lauren Buyukis. I believe I'm saying her last name correctly. My husband and I listened to the audiobook for Broken Monsters by her earlier in this year, and we were both really captivated by it. This is the novel I think she's more well known for, and so this might be one that we both read at the same time. Next book I have is The Auctioneer by Joan Samson, and I just want to say, can you see like on camera how old this copy is? I believe it's from 1975. Someone's name is even written in here. I love getting used books like this. I love old copies. Again, like Cujo, it smells like an old book, and I love that, and I can't wait to read this so I can put it on my mass market paper rack shelf. The next book I have is Their Eyes Were Watching God by Zora Neale Hurston. I know this is a classic. I know this is one that is highly recommended if you want to read more Black fiction, and I know this author is absolutely well loved and critically acclaimed and a historical figurehead for her community, and I know this is one of her more recognized works. I'm looking forward to finally adding this to my collection and adding this one in to my read collection and into my memory banks. Next book I have is At the Hands of Persons Unknown, The Lynching of Black America by Philip Dray. Again, more nonfiction. One of my goals this year is to really diversify my shelves quite a bit more, and specifically diversifying my nonfiction shelves. I want to have a lot more about the horrible history of the United States and what it has done to its people. I want to make sure that I'm keeping myself knowledgeable. The next book I have is Audition by Ryu Murakami. I really enjoy Japanese horror, and I know that this is one that is a classic, and I don't want to call it a cult classic because I don't think it's a cult classic. I think it's just a straight up classic of Japanese horror. A while back, I was telling my husband that I really just wanted some books that would straight up scare me, disturb me, and freak me out and leave me unable to sleep, and this was one of the ones that he found. The next book I have is The Mere Wife by Maria Dahvana Headley. I am pretty sure that this is a Beowulf retelling. I absolutely love this cover. Spoiler alert, I will often pick up books based purely on the cover. I'm very easy to grab that way. One of my favorite books from last year was The Song of Achilles by Madeline Miller, and I'm really hoping to incorporate more mythological retellings into my personal library. The next book I have is My Soul to Keep by Tananarive Due. I haven't read anything from this author before. I know she's a horror historian and really loved by the horror community, so I'm excited to pick something up from her. The next book I have is In the Valley of the Sun by Andy Davidson. I don't know much about this one. I think it's a vampire novel. The next book I have is Good Morning, Destroyer of Men's Souls by Nina Renata Aaron. I know that this is a memoir. I know that this is about the struggles of the author that she has had throughout her life. And again, look at that cover. That cover is just beautiful. I know I keep mentioning how beautiful the covers are, so this one is probably my favorite cover out of the entirety of the stack, and it is The Devourers by Indra Das. This one is beautiful. The front here, just absolutely gorgeous. The back. And again, I am really looking to diversify my library quite a bit this year. And one of the things I was hoping to do was get more horror from authors of color. So I'm very excited about this one. Again, this has one of the most beautiful covers out of the stack of covers that I can't stop talking about, and that is Haunting Bombay by Shilpa Agarwal, I believe is how you pronounce that. I might be mispronouncing it. I'm so sorry. Again, I'm not sure much about what this is, except it's beautiful. I'm about 65% positive it is horror, and it's from another author of color. The next to last book I have is An Indigenous People's History of the United States by Roxanne Dunbar Ortiz. This one was recommended on Modern Warriors TikTok as a book you should pick up if you want to start to decolonize your library. So I did. And the last book I have in this giant stack of 29 books is Taktumi, an anthology of Arctic horror stories. I believe most of the authors in here are Inuit or Indigenous and are talking about local legends and local folklore. I'm really excited about this one. I am trying to get to this one soon so I can still read it while it's relatively snowy and cold here, and so it can definitely provide me with all the winter vibes. That's my 29 books that I acquired throughout the month of December. I'm looking forward to reading every single one of these, and that's it.